And now, the Big Chee Show.
I am Chris Chee, and I am here with Brad, the Long Island Expressway Marsh. Brad, how we doing tonight on this Monday, this beautiful Monday in Baltimore?
I'm doing fine.
Huh?
Nice haircut, looking good.
Thank you very much. I was telling Danira. Danira's got some big plans. She's my hairdresser before we got here. I was going to try to give her a little bit of a shout out. She's trying to start a salon up in Parkville. So Danira, keep doing your thing. I know you're going to be listening in tomorrow. So wanted to get this haircut. You know, we had this argument a little bit before when I was going. You know, you were saying who gets a haircut on a Monday.
Yeah, I'm a Friday haircut kind of guy.
Well, I wanted to
get
get
the weekend, give you some confidence going in.
Yeah, it would have been nice if I was able to get a haircut on Friday. She only worked till 5, and the product that I use, you have in your car among every Taco Bell bag and every article of clothing that you own in your back seat, and that really helped me, Brad.
Oh yeah, you looked kind of like Pat Riley on Friday.
Yeah, that was.
Hair.
Brad definitely kind of gave me like a confident shot. I come back and the first thing he says, "Hey, you look like Pat Riley." I said, "Oh God, I can't look good." Like the sleek shininess of it. Jay wanted, our boy Jay up in Long Island, he wanted pics. I'm like, no.
You know what it means when you get your haircut on a Monday? You know what that means?
No, I don't.
It means you got, a little love interest that you're working with. You want to look better you're more concerned how you look during the work week than you do during the weekend.
Well,
my opinion.
That's not entirely. Yeah. I'm not going to dispute you. That's not entirely false. Okay. I mean, let's face it. A girl at a workplace. You kind of know what they're about. You get to learn about them a little bit. You know what they're doing on a daily basis. It's not like Mad River. Everybody kind of just blends in and you're drinking, so you don't really pay attention to things like that. So, that's kind of my theory on it. Yeah, and plus, I get my hair cut up by work. I don't go around where I live down here in downtown, so it's a convenience thing for me, Brad. And I got to go on her schedule. I find it. Hairdressers, to me, are like a good girlfriend. You find
call them barbers, Chris.
I have a hairdresser.
I have a barber. Okay. I go to the same place as you, but I have a barber.
A girl isn't a barber.
It's a barber.
Tell us what you think. Can a girl be a barber? Hit us on Twitter. Let me know. I disagree.
They can do anything they want to do. They can do the same things we can do, okay?
Onto the weekend, Friday night. Friday night was a good time. I had Brad over, and we ended up kind of throwing together like a pregame, like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Started sending out some texts and some phone calls, saying, we're going to do it up at my place. We're going to party it up and then go out. I was ready to. It'd been a while since I had gone out downtown Baltimore, and I wanted to have a good time, so we hosted it. Couple of times during the pregame, I snuck down because I took off air. I had Syracuse against South Florida, embarrassingly enough. So I was kind of separating myself from the crowd a little bit. But we had about 20 people over for a little pre-party.
Yeah, give or take.
Give or take. Carrier Classic was on, too. I was watching that. But, it's hard for me to get really into college basketball. The game was really cool, having it on the Carrier. I definitely enjoyed that. It's just hard for me to get into college basketball.
Shout out to my brother, by the way, who's a Syracuse student, was at the game. So shout out to him.
At the Syracuse South Florida game. Or the Carrier Classic.
Carrier Classic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. He was in California.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, if it wasn't so early in the season, these games are kind of irrelevant. I would have watched more. Football season, it's hard for me to turn off a football game to put on a basketball game. Let's face it. We're in the middle of the pregame. We're drinking. We're having a good time. Brad and I, before we went out, or before we started having all these people over, we decided, we both need to get dinner. We don't want to have something too heavy in Federal Hill, Baltimore. There's not a ton of options other than your standard pizza and, like, your subs.
It puts you in a tricky spot when you wait too long because you don't really give yourself a buffer zone in between when you start drinking. You eat a big hoagie or something like that, you're going to be in for some trouble.
Yeah, you're going to be sitting on the couch, and you're not going to be really sluggish.
Yeah, so in this situation, you eat like an appetizer or something like that when you start getting too close.
And that's what we did.
Time.
We both got lobster mac and cheese. Actually, met up. Had some Towson bros. We were talking about how Towson was like 36-point dogs against Kansas. we both get lobster mac and cheese. I think it's a safe thing to eat.
Well, I'm not a big seafood guy, and I don't know why I did this. I guess it's a seafood restaurant, so I kind of had to get something seafood.
Well, you're the one who was like hyping it.
Well, last time I had it, it was good. Yeah.
Well, me too, but. But on to the story, we're in the middle of the pregame, and all of a sudden, I remember taking a shot of a concoction of vodka and cranberry juice or something. And hits my stomach, and I go, oh, God. So, I live here, so I'm like, I'll just creep into my room real quick, get this out, I'll be good to go. Start knocking on the door, politely, because I don't know if it's a girl, guy, in my own bathroom. It's Brad. And he's doing the exact same thing. He's having issues simultaneously as I am. And it was, it doesn't need to go into too much detail, but it wasn't pretty. And the worst part about it was you come upstairs, and everybody's like, oh, what were you doing down there for so long? Both of us, and we're both kind of just like, nothing,
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to handle this. I've eaten there many times before. It was good. Do I just never get that dish again? Do I give them like
I give them a second
suspension?
chance. Well, suspension.
Maybe like a week or two, maybe a month suspension, and go back. Because it's got to make you wonder what's going on in that kitchen, maybe. But it was only one time, but it was obviously from there because both of us got sick.
Both of us, and both at the same time too. Maybe mixing all the alcohol. I mean, you don't normally when I get that it's on a Sunday and I'm winding down. I don't normally eat that, and then I start ripping shots of Svedka. But I don't think the combo worked out too well.
I don't think it had alcohol really to do with it because I wasn't too deep into the game at that point. So I think I
was deep.
I got to put this one on them.
Yeah, fair enough. We both played it off cool. I mean, most of the crowd didn't know about it, other than a couple bros that were there. And for any of you who don't know me, and we haven't pregame together or whatnot, I have a very strict. In Baltimore, the bars close at 1:30. I've got a very strict 11:30 policy on going out. I don't need to be at the bar all night spending all my money. I like the pregame. Everybody's having a good time. Everybody's taking pictures, watching the game. You're in your own place. I'm a big-time pregame guy. And I was able to keep everybody there because, normally, Brad's kind of from the school of thought, let's play hard rap music during the pregame. Your DMX and your Tupac. I switched it up a little bit. I threw on a little bit of Grease. I threw on a little bit of TLC Creep, and I started throwing on all those little songs the girls like, and they started dancing, going crazy.
I'll give you the Creep, but please don't ever put on Grease again, man. Just please, just don't do it.
Yeah, it was probably a questionable move on my end. I would agree, but people were, even the bros were feeling it a little bit. I mean, at this point, it was close to 11:30. Everyone's been, feeling good, But yeah, it was. We had a good time that Friday night. Saturday, wake up, go over to the Notre Dame Maryland game around the midday afternoon. Saw the Notre Dame Fighting Irish pull it off against Maryland. It was an awesome game. We had a lot of fun. It was my first Notre Dame game. Tailgate was a good scene. I don't like FedEx Field's obstructed view seating, and it's now the second time I've sat in the obstructed view seating.
Never been up there to FedEx.
Yeah, that's all right.
Never had a reason to go to like a Skins game or something. So
it's okay. It's I like the tailgating aspect of it. You have your open fields. Actually, we put 4 cars next to each other.
What would you say the percentage-wise would be ratio of Skins fans? Of Notre Dame fans and Maryland fans?
It was a Notre Dame home game, technically, which is oddly enough, Maryland playing in the state of Maryland is away.
That's very unusual, yeah.
But I would say that the ratio was probably 70% Notre Dame to 30% Maryland.
Okay.
So it was an awesome time. The band's playing. I get to hear that. Let's get that. We'll get that rolling in the next segment. But I get to finally hear that in person, and man, it is music to my ears. So we decide to go down and actually see the whole field. And there were open seats. it must not have been the same kind of crew that was working that game that normally works the Redskins games, because they were pretty letting us do whatever we wanted. Go down, I start talking to some girls that were from Iowa. And, we're kind of talking a little bit. She's like, oh, you're a Notre Dame fan. For some reason, she was rooting for Maryland. I don't know, but telling me about how she's a Hawkeye.
Someone coming from, I can understand maybe you're a hardcore Notre Dame fan, but I don't.
Right.
Coming from Iowa, rooting for
Maryland. And she had her Maryland gear on. I thought it was very strange, too. But where she lost me was we're talking, and I go, yeah, I'm from Jersey. And she starts calling me a meatball. And I never liked that, but I let it kind of slide. And I was like, I'm not, we're not going to talk here too much longer. You want to call me that, fine. I'm not going to get in confrontation. I'm watching the Notre Dame game. And then she goes, people from D.C. are such, I'm not going to use the word, but such a-holes. I go, why? She goes, we were out in DuPont Circle last night, and, we're three attractive girls. Before
you go any further, it's DuPont Circle. I mean, to each his own, but it's the best way to say it's not where you go to if you want to meet men, if you're a female. All right, that's the way I'll put it. So she was not in the right spot.
Mind you, Brad went to DuPont Circle after we went to the Gary Neal show, D.C., Wizards, Spurs. He wasn't really seeing straight anyway, so your comment on that is kind of a mute point here, okay?
I'm just saying, DuPont Circle, if you're a female, you want to meet a guy, that's not where you go for obvious reasons.
I don't think
I was wherever this is anyway.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think it's a pretty normal place, but
Wikipedia DuPont Circle, you'll see what I'm talking about here, Chris. We're not getting the message.
Okay. No, I actually don't think I am getting the message. I'm out of the loop.
Okay.
But either way, she starts telling me, oh, if we were in Iowa, we got guys buying us drinks all the time, and we got guys talking to us, and no guys were even talking to us or buying any drinks, and we're three good-looking girls. She kept reiterating we're three good-looking girls. And you know what I wanted to say? I'm not a mean guy when it comes to women. I'm just not. So, single ladies, and I'm your kind of guy here. But I wanted to say to her, you're not that good-looking where I'm going to go up to you at a bar and buy you a drink. Maybe some other guys will. I don't know. But you need to stop reiterating the fact that you and your two friends are good-looking girls. Okay? That's all I'm saying. Have a little modesty, because great-looking women don't need to go and say stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, act like you've been
there before. A great-looking girl is not going to keep saying, "Oh, we're three good-looking girls." No, you don't need to, because everybody already knows it. Maybe that works for you in Iowa, and I just had trouble even having really anything to really talk to her about.
Why would anyone ever go to Iowa?
Well, she was from Iowa.
I'm saying I would never go there.
And she was like, why? And I asked her, I'm like, why'd you come to D.C.? And she goes, well, there's nothing. I'm from Iowa. I said, okay, that makes sense. But after a couple of meatball comments, she said she walked away and did her own thing. I was pretty happy about it. I could sit there and watch the Notre Dame game in peace. I actually had a Yankee hat on, and a Notre Dame shirt. Guy told me behind me, I've got everything wrong in this world on. I said, no, I don't think so, buddy. I think this is everything right in this world.
Well, that kind of goes hand in hand, Notre Dame,
yes,
Yankee.
It does, and that's kind of why I wore it. And I knew I was kind of asking for some confrontation from Maryland fans. Your Maryland fans kind of coincides with your Oriole fan, but it was mostly Notre Dame fans, so I was feeling okay with it.